My name is Wayne Mansfield. I'm from the Western Cape in South Africa. I live in Pinyal. My farm is based in Paarl, just 17 kilometers from my house. So we farm on the farm named Diamant, where we're leasing the land, 12-hectare portion of the land that we lease, and we farm with Eureka lemons for the last 12 years now. So I originally started I was a fruit walker all my life. And getting into fruit walking was during school. I used to work on holidays for pocket money, and that is how I got introduced to the industry. And also, after school, I make the promise to myself I'm going to work for myself, and that is where everything started for me. So after school, I went around doing my own thing, and I came across a lot of farmers, built great relationships with them, and the one farmer in Paarl gave me the opportunity to start farming. And at first I rejected, and then after a couple of years I accepted this offer, and that is how I got into the citrus farming. We didn't have a lot of money growing up, so I needed to do something for myself. And luckily for me, my parents allowed me to do stuff, to go to work on a very early age, and I enjoyed it because I got introduced to the citrus industry. I think the first time they asked me is to represent on the chamber for the Western Cape. I believe it was 2021. So I started farming. I registered the business in 2015, and I started exporting the year after. 2016 I started exporting. But coming to that point, the farm that I started on was neglected for 8 to 9 years at that time. So the owner their focus wasn't the lemons or citrus. Their focus was into wine and goat cheese. So I started there with old trees, dried up, and 7 hectares at that time, because a lot of the trees were dead. So it added up to 5.2 hectares of lemon trees that was there. And I needed to prune them back, needed to irrigate, needed to fertilize, and starting everything, I didn't know nothing about farming. So I got 3 mentors that mentored me through that whole process and guided me through that thing, through the farming production side of farming. And I was very keen. I'm still keen to learn. So we started with pruning back the trees, putting the new irrigation in, and the owner helped me with that whole process. His words to me was that he will help me with getting everything set up, and then when I leave the farm one day, I must just give it back in that same manner, in that same position as he gave it to me. And then we started early 2015. I registered the business in 2015, mid 2015, and then I exported the year after, 2016. At that time, I can recall a lot of the people told me, but Wayne, how can you export next year? So I told them that my what I want to take out of exporting is just to learn the process. What is my responsibility as a farmer to do on the farm, and what type of quality does the export market wants, and what processes I need to follow. And I recall back now, I needed to register for Global Gap, and I think at that time Caesar was just starting to get up and running as well. So in 2016, I applied for my Global Gap certificate so I can export my own fruit out of, through an exporter out of the country. Exporting is a very tough topic to talk about for me, because on the production side you have control over the whole process, but exporting you need to trust an external exporter to export your fruit. And over the last couple of years I had huge challenges with exporters, and that is one of the biggest challenges for me at this time, because they are not dependent, but they are responsible for bringing money back to the farm. And the uncertainty of certain procedures they follow is sometimes very difficult to understand. So, and sometimes you just feel like the money you're getting, and you hear about other farmers, what they're getting back for the same product is not in line with the money you're getting back. So, and that is mostly where I failed my business many times, because everybody thinks exporting is you're making a lot of money. They aligned it with wealth and stuff, but there's very small margin of making profit if you export, and there's huge challenges when you want to export and your fruit is not a certain quality. And to do that, you need to make sure you follow the procedures on the farm, and do it right. And also when harvesting, make sure that your process is followed to the T when you start harvesting. I feel that is a big challenge, not only for first generational farmers, but also for farmers in general. I know that a lot of farmers is struggling with exporters, and I just feel that the farmers is owed the best prices for their product at what they produce. It's a huge challenge, and it took me about I'm on the farm now 10 years this year, 10 years, but I started in 2014-13, I started pruning the trees. So, but for exporting, for the business sake, I'm 10 years on the farm now. We signed the lease agreement on the 2015. The first lease agreement I signed, this was 2015. The one thing I want to mention is in 2016 I exported 31 tons to the export market, and the year 2017, I increased it by 400%, and we did 168 tons to the export markets. So we had a huge increase the following year on the production, and that opened a lot of doors for me. And then I think that in 2016 I came to realize about the CGA, and through the CAS funding, we had a program in the Western Cape where we can apply for funding to assist us with our production and also implements. And through that, whole process, I came to learn about the industry itself and what they can help us as farmers with. Over the last couple of years, between 2016 to up to 2019, I won several awards for farming. The one award was the Western Cape Upcoming Farmer of the Year. I won that one in 2018, and the national one for the youth farmer, commercial farmer, was in 2019. And then I got really engaged with what is the CGA been doing for a lot of these years. If I can motivate young farmers, my message to them will be that just start with what you have. Start, if you are a citrus farmer, just try to start and gain enough knowledge around you. But the one most important thing when you start farming that I learned on a later stage is your markets. Try to understand your market from A to Z. That is the big turning point for farmers, is to understand your market. Don't just farm any produce and you don't have a market. You can be the best farmer, but if your market doesn't allow you to make that money back that you work so hard on the farm, it's not going to help you with what you want to achieve. So my message is to them, the biggest is try to understand your market very at the beginning of your farming operation. And there's a lot of passion and pride going into production and producing the best quality fruits. So if you want to start farming, you need to know, you need to understand, you need to work hard, you need to get up early, you need to discipline yourself all the time, and enjoy farming. It's a great opportunity, and I think the country and all the industries are creating great opportunities for us. So yeah, enjoy it.